Welcome to the Learning Zone with Miss Beachley, Miss Hall, and Miss Bates. Hi everyone, today is Wednesday, April 29th, 2020, and today we are still talking about two-dimensional shapes, only this time we are going to focus on quadrilaterals. So your objective, I can use attributes to identify and draw different quadrilaterals, including rectangles, rhombus, parallelograms, and trapezoids. So remember, quadrilaterals are two-dimensional shapes that have four sides and four angles. So we can go back to our anchor chart. Is this right here, which is at the bottom. Your quadrilaterals, your rectangle, square, trapezoid, and parallelogram. And down here, just telling you that some quadrilaterals can have multiple names. Like a square can also be called a parallelogram because it has two sets of parallel sides. And we'll talk about what parallel lines and sides are in a second. Now I want to show you the other anchor chart for quadrilaterals. So you have parallelograms, rhombus, square, and your rectangle. So parallelogram must have two pairs of parallel sides. And I'm going to show you what that is. So parallel sides or lines are lines that will never cross, which means they can go on forever and ever and ever, and they will never cross, which means they will never intersect, they will never touch each other. So let's go back to this. All right, a rhombus, it must have four equal sides, which means that the green rhombus, all of these sides have to be the same length. Just like a square. A square actually is inside of all of these. So it's a parallelogram, it's a rhombus, and it also can be classified as a rectangle. And then a rectangle must have four right angles. So remember, if we go back to our angles chart, your right angle is right here. Makes a square in a corner. So if it makes a square, it is a right angle. So if this confuses you in any way, please reach out to us. I know sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, but it gets better with time. So you have this anchor chart. You also have this anchor chart here. So now let's get into our classwork. And today is Wednesday. So I'm going to click on Wednesday. And it's going to open up as a Google slide. And we are going to zoom in a little bit. Okay. All right. So remember, type your name and your date. And we'll get started. So number one says, use your ruler to draw two parallel lines that are not the same length. So again, you can use the ruler. It is here if you want to use it. To draw your lines, go up to line. If it's not already selected, go to line and draw a line. And remember, if you wanted to make the line a little thicker, you can. If you wanted to change the color of it, you can. So we need to also make another line, but it cannot be the same length. So make another line. And I'm going to do it the same thing as before. All right, so these are my two parallel lines. I know they are parallel lines because I know if these lines were to go on and on and on, they will never touch each other. They will never cross. So number two, you are to draw two parallel lines that are the same length. And number three, you have to trace the parallel lines on each quadrilateral. It says using a crayon. That's if you're using paper, you can use a crayon. But if you're doing it on a computer, you can use two things. You can use your line, and that's one. And we'll make it a little thicker so you can see. And I want to make this one green. And then I'm also going to put one on this side because that is also my parallel line. And it says for each shape with 2 sets of parallel lines, use 2 different colors. So I know that it has 2 sets of parallel lines. So these 2 right here, because if they keep going, they will never touch. And then I also know that these 2 right here will never touch. So using the lines is one way. The other way I wanted to show you is this tool right here which says scribble. So you can click on that and it will let you draw your line. And again, change the size of it so you can see, and it has to be a different color. Let's use yellow. And you see, it looks like the line, but it's actually you are scribbling. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like so you can see it's a little different. So if I was just to go back and forth like this. Ooh, sorry, messed that up. All right, so back and forth like that, and I need to make it yellow. And you can see that I actually scribbled that line. So you can use the scribble tool or you can use the line tool. So again, remember, if they have 2 sets of parallel lines, you need to use 2 different colors. So these 2 right here are parallel lines, and then these 2, top and bottom, are parallel lines. Let's see. I'll do one that does not have 2 sets of parallel lines. So this right here is a trapezoid, and let's see, if we go back here, it only has 1 pair of parallel lines, and those lines are this one and this one. Because if you were to do, and I'll just do an example, actually I'll use the scribble tool. If I were to make this line like this, and let's just make it blue, and then I thought that this was also a parallel line, and I'm showing you why it's not a parallel line. I'll make that one blue. As you can see, these lines are touching each other, which means they can't be parallel lines, because these lines can't go on forever and ever and not touch. They're already touching each other. So those are not parallel lines. Your 2 parallel lines is this one and this one. So find the parallel lines in this one. Remember to use different colors if there are 2 parallel lines. Down here, you have to draw a parallelogram with no square corners. So again, if you need help with that, you can use this anchor chart, and you can also use this anchor chart. And if you need to, you can use your angle chart too, because if it cannot have corner angles, then it has to be one of these. Then when you get to your second page, draw a quadrilateral with 4 square corners. Again, use those anchor charts to help you. Then down here, you need to measure the sides to this figure with the centimeter ruler. And I'll put the centimeter ruler here already on the centimeter side. Remember, start at the 0. Move it over. So is a 3. This line down here is a 3. So I would just type in 3 cm, because cm stands for centimeters. And remember, to measure the other sides, all you need to do is click on this circle to rotate your ruler and hold it against the other sides. And I'm going to put the ruler back. And then it says, what do you notice? And can you remember what this polygon is called? So use your anchor charts again. And then the last question is, a square is a special rectangle. What makes it special? So I'll give you a hint. Use this chart. It will help you. If you have any other questions or need something explained a little more, please reach out to myself, Ms. Bates, or Ms. Beachley. See you tomorrow for our word problem.